Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
As a public service announcement, please note the following. If you are checking into your verbal rental home and the neighbors are in the process of erecting a 10-foot privacy fence between their house and the one you are checking into, just go home. Seriously. Just put the car in reverse and go home. Have a bologna sandwich and a Diet Coke on your couch. Don't sign up for the guess what that stain is game in a verbal rental. You're welcome, America. Oh yeah, this is Dave and Juan.
And 3.
Number 2.
And follow that up with a quick 1.
Woohoo!
America, let's just cut to the chase. You
Oh,
are
you're welcome.
welcome. You are welcome. Besides the fact you're welcome that Juan had to get out of the pool.
Right. Just
Come
now.
on, right, but more overall, you're welcome that. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
How are you? I'm Dave,
I'm Juan.
and this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know. I was
Yep,
sort of
my
disjointed.
hands are still wrinkly.
Thankfully, Juan is no longer spinning the wheels of steel. No,
Hey.
no mixing to do with your wrinkly hands. So I'm guessing you were standing. You're just
A little
you're
bit
pulling
of
your-
today I was standing. Yesterday I floated on a raft for a little while. But while I was on the raft, I kind of opened my eyes for a second and I saw something on my arm. I thought it was a piece of trash or just a bug or something. But then when I looked closer to the freaking wasp,
okay.
and as soon as I twinged, stung me.
No,
Oh yeah.
So you-
just once.
dang.
Yeah, so my forearms. Yeah, it didn't do anything yesterday. This morning I woke up, it was all, I could feel the swelling and the itching.
So it stung you while you were floating on the.
I was floating on a raft, my arms kind of laid across
Mhm.
me, and opened my eyes, and it was just sitting there on my arm. Which then, I guess, as soon as I moved, it stung me.
Well, I would have thought. So I was gonna say, Juan, that wasp was just trying to. Just try to float, avoid drowning, probably avoid drowning himself or itself,
Well,
or I don't know how
it's
the
dead
wasp
now.
identified, but it's dead now.
Yeah, I killed him.
Yeah.
Then today we were back just a little while ago. And yeah, you gotta love parents and their children. So this couple comes with their daughter. I'm guessing she was 7-ish.
Oh, that's a good age.
Yeah, she gets in the water. Oh no, she has no bathing suit, so they just got in shorts and a t-shirt to get in the pool. Hey, and her glasses.
Well, were they
But
swimming
before the-
glasses or just they became?
No, they're just
swimming glasses?
they're just glasses.
Okay.
Before she got in the pool, they put what I call like a ski vest style life jacket. Just the sleeveless and it's like a vest.
Right.
Which is all right. But then I see a pull out of the bag is old style orange life vest. The kind that everybody has a boat. You got 10 of those on the boat, so when
fit behind
wildlife
your head.
fishers stop you. Yeah.
That's supposed to be behind, and those is actually, if I, truth be told, if I hope never to have to need. Truth be told, that's the kind you want.
Right,
You want the
'cause it's
kind that
yeah,
just
right.
props right behind your head, so you can just
Right,
at
you
least
can rest on it.
keep your head above the water. Those vests look like you still got to do some work.
Yeah, well, so they're trying to put it on backwards to where it's still got the headpiece up there, but if you remember how those things look, it's got the straps on the front,
Right.
and then you basically strap it around the back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a polite guy, so I said, "Ma'am, I think you have that on backwards," because they're struggling to figure it out. These people, their first English or their first language wasn't English. Their
That's okay.
third language, probably. So they didn't
Sure.
speak a lot. I think they were Vietnamese. Not that matters. But so she struck. Then she takes it off and tries to put it on upside down with the headpiece on the bottom.
Now let me try to follow you. She already has another
Right.
vest on.
Yeah, she's got the vest on.
So this 7-year-old's got a flotation device on already,
Correct.
and now they're trying to apply
a second
Another.
flotation
Wow.
device.
How much of a
Um,
brick is this kid?
well, so I went and I helped him get it on. The funniest thing, she wasn't scared of water. I figured she'd be petrified, to have all of that safety on. She'd jump in the water, and because of the buoyancy of the double vest, she basically, popped straight up and
Bounce
like
out the
up to
wall.
her waist. And I told Joey, I said, it's like, like if you're fishing with a stopper and you got a big fish and all of a sudden it breaks the line, that stopper just comes flying out of the water.
Well, there you go. Well, she was safe. She wasn't probably safe from bouncing off the water into the side of the pool, but
No, but yeah,
that was good.
she
Good.
was, Riley's teaching swimming lessons this summer at the pool, so I didn't offer, any information on her services to them though.
Well, that's back in the old days, they just threw you in.
That's it, man.
Just right.
Just go.
You'll
No,
make it.
no double life jacket or anything.
No, that's the funny thing too. Like you said, on the boats, you're supposed to have the life jackets, and the one time we took a cruise, and they make you do this. The worst part of the cruise is when you have to do the safety. They make everybody go into, it's not a galley, I don't know what it is, but you have to go in the hallways or whatever they call that stuff, and you're just standing. I don't know how many deep in line. They're giving you all the safety things, and these are where the boats are, and this is whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'm not sitting there thinking, I'm standing there thinking, what a waste of freaking time.
Is
Trust
it
me.
worse than when you're flying and they do the
Oh
deal
yeah, it'd
that
be
nobody
worse
pays
because I
attention
promise
to?
you, on a ship, oh man, you're gonna be trampled. This ain't.
Yeah, yeah. I'll wait till last.
Who's getting these boats exactly? And 75% of the ship is intoxicated. That ought to be great. That's what they ought to do if they want to give you a true safety presentation. Do it after happy hour, right?
See how you swim drunk.
That's right. Just hey, let me see. Let me see how you can take instructions while you are intoxicated, because that's have the boat ride. But yeah, so you were floating yesterday.
I
Today
was
just
floating. Yes, I floated in. And laid or floated and stood. I was only there for an hour a day because I
those
had
of
to
you
get
that are
out
relatively new to the
from the
show.
desk.
One's a fan of standing, and that's
Right. I'm in the pool often. I have just, I couldn't tell you how many decades it's been since I actually swam.
Juan has a scholarship athlete daughter swimmer, so it's in the
Mm-hmm.
family.
All right. All right.
He's got swimming genes in him, or Joey does. Somebody does.
I don't know, but I don't swim.
Yeah.
I did beat her in the holding the breath competition last summer though.
Your daughter?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You got
Yeah.
more capacity.
I went for about a minute and a half.
You got more capacity. Bigger lungs. Bigger lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did a little breath holding this week. We were on vacation, sort of vacation. Supposed to be vacation. Kind of ended up being sort of a hybrid vacation. And we do it once a year, and glad to do it. My in-laws, both my mother and father-in-law, and my sister's, my wife's sister's family. And as a family, there's 10 of us, and it's hard to get together now because everybody's all over the place. But
Mm-hmm.
we go and get a place and spend some time, and it's always it's a good time. But this time, for various reasons, it wasn't the beach. We weren't going to. Normally, it's Florida, just, Alabama, or
Y'all
went
didn't
to.
have the Grand Marquis this year, man. That's why.
We didn't have the grand. We did not have that Grand Marquis that rolled its last mile. Rolled its last mile for our family last year with my father-in-law. I'm sure that thing it's on the road. It's either in Alabama or Mexico. Um, might have been
somebody really glad to have it.
Miss Alabama will be riding in that car in a parade, and that's
I don't know.
I don't
Miss
know.
Alabama's.
Well, that's
it's
sort
a
of
big
mean.
car, but
Sort of mean, and we're not going to go down that path. But we may go down that path later. But so this time, they went online and found sort of it made it sound like a river house. That's now granted. I didn't do much detective work. And I don't think you should have to, but I'm gonna go on record as saying, is it Verbo, VRBO?
vacation rental by owner.
Have you used those guys?
We have.
Okay, never again. Never, ever, 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 ever again. Because what you find out, and I guess I should have known this, you kind of feel dumb after the fact, they have all the incentive in the world to pretend like everything they have on that site is fantastic. Like, I'll go right now and read you the reviews. I mean, I'm not going to, but I can go on and read you the most current reviews before we get to this place. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. The overall was like 9, 8. Man. And going back now, reading these things, they sound like AI generated reviews. Okay.
Yep. You can do one for every email address you have.
But you can't, you no, try. I've tried. I'm trying hard as I can to try to figure out a way. They won't let you comment on, like, the verbal site will not let me go on
Oh, wow.
and call BS on this stuff. So, you should start getting a little concerned when, as you pull into the property, and I compared it, not quite, the movie The Money Pit, but you remember the movie The Money Pit? This what
Yep.
it looks,
Tom Hanks.
what used to be a nice older
Right.
home.
In its day.
At a distance, you think like, oh, okay. So when you pull up and it looks more like a Mediterranean style haunted house, maybe. I don't know. Just sort of, it didn't, the kicker was the neighbor to the side of this house was in the process. We saw the crew, waved at them while they were doing it. They built a 10-foot privacy fence between that property and the property we were renting. It was in the process of going up. Beautiful, impressive fence, by the way. I took a picture of it saying, man, I know I couldn't do this in my neighborhood, but they do horizontal
Yeah, I like
boards.
those.
And man, 10 foot high, and
So
probably,
that means 10, 12 boards up.
oh, more than that, man. More than that, because the boards are they're 6 inches wide.
Oh, okay. All right. So then
So
24.
20,
10,
oh yeah.
22. Because
A lot of,
if it's a 6-inch wide board, it's really 5.5.
correct. A lot of wood. A lot of somebody's
I'm assuming
investing.
it was quiet since you're on vacation that they just glued them to the posts.
Oh, dude, that was pleasant, man. I'm not bothered by those guys at all. What it should have told me was, what in the world is going on at this house on a regular basis? Because that neighbor wasn't building a 10-foot privacy fence on the other side of his house. He was building it to block the view of whatever nonsense is going on in this place that we're supposed to check in on a Tuesday, check out on a Saturday. So that should have been a hint. When we get in there and you get to the bottom floor, and I described it as if Liberace and Elvis got together to build a deer camp that was later foreclosed on and abandoned. That would pretty much encapsulate just what you look. And then when you first walk into the first level, and it's a big place, I think it was 6,000 square feet total.
Wow.
So like 2 on the bottom, 2 in the middle, 2 on the third floor, give or take, whatever, right? It's that smell. Yeah, it's kind of like, not necessarily terrible, but, or is that a cover-up smell?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Pretty much mold. Pretty much is what that's, if with a musty, because you had a probably minimum 1,500 feet area with various furniture, various years and whatever. One window unit on that first floor.
Oh, wow.
A window unit, bro.
Oh, dude, the window unit would have scared me.
Okay. A window unit. They didn't show the window unit in the pictures on Verbo. Okay. On Verbo, the first floor, man, there's sunshine coming through, and there's the pool table. Now, the pool table was actually in pretty good shape, but they had 2 pool cues, and one was missing a tip. So, all right. That's
They do that. They've got people who specialize in like real estate photography. When we sold our house, I was, totally impressed. I said, Jesus, why am I moving here, man? This place is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
guessing they probably had somebody who knew what they were doing.
and but the thing was, we also went back after and just pulled them up and realized those pictures were years and years. I mean, I don't know how old. I don't.
When
There was
Elvis and Liberace were still alive.
there's a wharf in the picture that's not there anymore. It's just right. It's and the river, and they do say that in the Verbo thing, but the quote unquote river or whatever it is, because of work on the dam, which apparently has been going on for I don't know how many years. This is in Seguin, Texas, by the way, otherwise known as the middle of freaking nowhere. Um, so the river, quote unquote, was like 9 feet below where it should have been. So it was a dangerous trek to get it there. They had a canoe tied up if you want to go down there. So just one of these. All right. Okay. First impressions, like, okay, not because you get thinking, all right, we're here for 4 or
Yeah,
5 days.
and if you're like me, once I get ticked off at something like that, I'm finding everything else wrong
and
with the
dirty
place.
and dirty. So apparently they have Mary maids or whatever that supposedly comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So once we start getting in there, everybody's
Because you probably paid $100 cleaning fee.
well, and look, one of the reasons I can't complain is my mother-in-law and father-in-law pay for this, so I feel bad for them, and I bet you it was way more than $100. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
house that big. That's true.
okay, but that's okay. They didn't clean it all. We 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 get in there, and it's like, okay, this is the first floor, so maybe that's the trash floor, and then we open up this one room that's supposed to be like the downstairs bedroom that was just, I don't know, it was creepy. Just going, human trafficking. I don't know what's going on down here. Closets that don't make any sense. Beds that are blocking doors. Um, okay, that kind of stuff. Get up to the but and the Mitch, you could see that in its day, this place was probably, really.
Right.
Now,
Probably worth the money that they were charging now.
you may or may not know this about me, Juan, but I'm a stickler on light bulbs. Nothing drives me more nuts than burnt light bulbs. Okay, I don't know why that is.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I'm, for any, yeah. Well, I check into a hotel room and if one of the lamps has a burnt light, ooh, that's about the only thing that'll get me to call a desk. And if there's 2 burnt light bulbs, you change in my room. I mean, I'm not dealing. No, because these are the canary in the coal mine things, right? So and the light switches in this place are all ridiculous. Like, what does this work? What does this work? Well, but you can tell like a ceiling fan, like ceiling fans, 4 bulbs. I don't think any of them had more than 2 that were, that still worked. The bedroom one of my sons was in, it was a weird, must have been a 30-year-old type, ceiling fan with a weird kind of glass, like a clear glass kind of ripple deal. And I guess when there are a lot of light bulbs in there, like the 4 light bulbs that are supposed to be in there, it must illuminate the room. But with 1 light bulb, it just puts this eerie, ghost-like stuff on the wall, man. It's just.
And no other lights in the room?
What's that?
No other lights in the room?
There was a lamp. There was a lamp and that. And so that's the showers. None of the showers lights worked. None of the.
See, I can't. And look, you stay in a hotel a lot, so you're used to when I get in places like that, it's the beds that creep me out. Just the fact to be sleeping in there.
Well, I walk into what was going to be our bedroom, or was our bedroom, which was interesting because you take 3. It's on the 2nd floor, yet you had to take 3 steps up to get to this room. That the bed was too big for the room.
2.5.
With huge. I even came out saying, "Okay, I don't know." I was asking, "What's the record for the size of a cobweb?" It's the biggest cobweb blowing around I could find. So we're having the initial, Well, part of me's thinking, maybe but we're on vacation, so maybe we'll just relax and everybody just drink a bunch of beer and chill out. But then we go into the bathrooms and it's like there's 10 of us. There's 3, there's only 3 bathrooms in the place, which is kind of weird. It advertises sleeps 20, but 3 bathrooms. But okay, each family's gonna. Yeah,
we don't bathe 20 though.
I know. So man, so here's when things got fun. So my mother-in-law calls the guy. Now, the guy that it's not the owner of the house. Apparently, there's a guy who owns several houses on that area. So he's a slumlord, is what he is. He's a slumlord. But the manager guy who my mother-in-law is talking to, she's like, "Hey, yeah, by the way, the third floor AC didn't work. It was 100
Could have
degrees.
just taken that window unit from the first floor and brought it up there if you wanted to sleep there.
Now, to their credit, they had an AC crew out there within an hour and a half. But that's a good sign when you're going into a house, right? So we're looking in the bathrooms. It was like, well, where's the towels? Where are the towels? And then, oh, wait, there's two. And then another bathroom might have two. So my wife, because my mother-in-law is too nice. She's too nice. She'll like apologize for the person who's shafting you.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm saying, just
I'm sorry, we want a light bulb.
okay. So my wife, who is usually nice, but she can be not nice. So she gets on the phone and starts, and very pleasant. I'll give her credit. I was, in the area, kind of, I kind of wanted to hear a little bit like, oh Lord, let's see what's going on here. And I may have been sipping on a beer by now because I was just like, okay, this is going to be a constant beer IV while we're here, not to lose patience with. And she's having the guy's trying to describe to her where the towels are in various things. And he's like, well, there should be. Now, the fact he knows how many towels are supposed to be in the house is troubling to me. Right. And then, yeah, there should be 6
Well,
face
you think if it sleeps 20, there should be more than 20. At least 20 if you're going to, expect people to use the same towel.
There were 6 bath towels and 6 face towels in the house. That sleeps 20. And I guess my mother put in there was going to be 10 of us there. And yet this guy, who's apparently like in Austin or something, supposedly a couple hours away, is trying to tell us that, oh, we have to do head counts and blah, 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 blah. And was really kind of put out that we were saying, hey, 6 towels ain't gonna cut it for 10 people staying in a house that sleeps 20. Well, I guess I can bring y'all some towels. And I was just talking where they can hear. I said, man, look, we'll take it out of the bill. We'll go to Walmart and buy a bunch of towels, but it's coming out the bill. Oh, no. Let me undo my trailer. I'll get the trailer off my truck and I'll be there in a couple of hours and like waiting for us to say, okay, no. Yeah, bro, come. And you might not like what's going to be here waiting for you. Then he ends up sending somebody else, some guy named Tony. Tony was the husband of the daughter of the owner or something. So Tony shows up with a garbage bag full of, they were brand new white towels, but, and Tony was going to take care of other things. So I'll walk Tony around the house like a house inspector, counting the burnt light bulbs. And he's all like, oh. So it was an interesting time, Juan. And because if you're going to take a vacation to the middle of nowhere, you need the place you're staying to basically
match the middle of nowhere.
That's it. That's what you want to do. You don't want to have to go anywhere. If you can go to Florida, if you're on the beach, you can almost get away with the place not being fantastic because you're kind of there for the beach.
Because you got the beach.
Right? You kind of whatever. You're in the middle of,
Why did y'all go there?
Man, but probably bait and switch on the. I didn't, I was not involved in that process. It was just sort of by the time none of us really have a veto in this stuff. It's sort of like, yeah, cool, and somebody shows like, hey,
I'm paying for your vacation. I'm not.
Here's some other things. Yeah, those of you out there that are ever going to be looking to rent a place, any place that advertises itself great for reunions and wedding parties. And I'm like, and some of the pictures on the website look like it was a wedding party or something, but I promise you that's the only one that was ever there. And it must've been 10 years ago. And, it was just, so there you go. The pool, it had a private pool.
Nice.
Across the street. Not lying. Looks like the neighborhood used to have a community pool. And I guess the neighborhood just gave up on it. So this guy, I don't know, assumed it or did whatever, but there's a poorly made warning sign on the door going into this kind of like bricked off pool for Turtle 429, whatever we were only like but place hadn't been touched. And I even told that to the owner's son-in-law, whatever was there. I said, dude, I don't trust how clean any of the house is. You think I trust that pool? I was like,
And you should have had more towels if you had a pool access.
man. So so Tony told me he was going to come back the next day. He was going to try to come back after he got off of work. That's always a good thing too. So wait, when you get off of work, so in 24 hours, I'm going to come back and try to take care. I'm going to get some light bulbs and whatever. He never came back. He never.
When you get off of work, well, isn't this your work?
Apparently not. He said, "Well, I ain't been in this place in 2 years." I said, "It shows. It shows."
Probably nobody else has.
So we end up bailing, right? Which is stressful, man. I mean, it's sort of like you got plans and we're all the family going to be together and but it just you joked about this about before we went on about staying at a house one time for free because you had friends that
somebody let me stay. I was helping them out, and sometimes that was even like I said, I was just married for the first time, so I had. Yeah, I probably didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, but even free wasn't worth it.
I'd
literally get up in the morning and warm my hands on the stove.
Oh man, our first night there, after I just all these things, I get into bed, and thankfully I was exhausted enough, and had a few beers, might even cracked a bottle of wine. It was one of those like, hey man, you just don't want to think about. But I remember getting in bed thinking, I think I'm in a place in my life that I don't really want to be doing this right here. Like, and all the grandkids were funny because all the grandkids are college age, out of college now. One of them's in high school, just getting out of high school. So that age, and they were all, it was funny. But of course, they don't want to go anywhere or do anything. They don't. Well, no. They wanted out. They were like, I think they're making up stories. One of my nieces says, I woke up, had a spider crawl on my face last night, so I couldn't sleep. I'm like, I don't know if I'll believe that, but hey, let's go with that story because my wife came to bed the second night, and took a lot to wake me up because I wouldn't go to bed till I was just flat out, just exhausted. And she's kind of sitting up. I'm like, what are you doing? There's something in the room. I can hear something crawl. I'm like,
great, that'll help you sleep.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, we're in a old dirty house near a drained river. Yeah, there's stuff crawling. There's stuff crawling everywhere. I mean, just yeah. But I
almost got thrown out of the last one we stayed at, the last vacation around by on it, because it was in the dead of winter. It was cold. My dad was there, my mother-in-law was there. It was for a swim meet, and the downstairs heater didn't work. I had one of those Nest thermostats that always takes me forever to figure out how to do it. So it took me a day to figure out that the heat actually wasn't working, and because I kept trying to reset it and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I called, and they said, "Oh, we'll send somebody out there." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. How about you give me a discount on the day and a half that I sat in here and froze?" And she said, "Well, how much you want?" I said, "You tell me." And it was, I said, "All right, $200." Yeah, we stay here for 4 nights. It was one night. Give me the $200 a night or whatever. Give me 1 night free.
Oh, you want okay?
And well, the most I could do is 100. But I don't think they'll do that. Let me ask. And she came back or whatever, and I can't do it. And they went back and forth a couple times, and she said, "Well, I can't do any more than that." I said, "Okay, but here's what I can do. I can leave you a Google review for the ages." So they called me back and said, "Okay, I talked to the owner, and you have to leave now."
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah.
I talked to the owner, and you have to leave now.
Yeah, because I threatened to do that.
Because you threatened a review.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, bro.
Yeah, so I ate humble pie and I apologized.
Oh man, you did. That's why
I never told that story.
You must have about to say that story doesn't have an ending like I figured it was going to have. Now I got to figure out some ways to, because they don't give you the address here on the Verbo thing, but I got to find.
That's one of the problems with that stuff is you don't get a specific address. And we've rented stuff. I've talked about that before, where you get there and it's a decent place, but it's in a neighborhood you would never otherwise want to be in.
Oh, this kind of was. I mean, it was near something called Lake Placid, which I don't know if it's a lake. It's like what you got, like a river that flows, and sometimes the river kind of bunches up, and I guess they call that a lake. Yeah, it's whatever. But yeah. So you kind of pull into the neighborhood and thinking, they got some pretty nice stuff here, off and on, but I could just, that's what I told the guy when he came bring the towels and walking around. I said, it looks like a repo house, man. I said, I've been in banking. This looks like a house that I'm walking through that somebody walked out on the mortgage and hasn't taken care of
Took
anything.
everything they could. Yeah.
Well, some, but just dirty. I said, nobody's changed a light bulb in this place in forever. Not even going to describe what the lavatories look like. The shower. I give him a shout out to my son Abe. He had a funny line about it's the shower that in the one bathroom that my family shared. This big open shower, okay, just tiled, but different kinds of tile. A shower head that didn't quite work like it's supposed to anymore. It's so the calcium deposit kind of.
Yeah, it's corroded.
Okay, so the light doesn't work. So you got a little bit light outside, but there's no door or curtain anyway. So it's just an open, and no ledge or box or anything to put shampoo or soap or anything. I don't know if it's a prison design. I don't know what it is. Literally nothing on the wall to put. So you have to put your soap and everything on the lavatory outside.
Lather up that rag.
So my son Abe said that it was like AI designed that. It was an AI generated shower stall where AI has no idea of what a shower stall is supposed to have. But here's a random design of tile.
A three-sided box, basically.
But
But I think old showers didn't have that. That's why they have those things on suction cups that you stick on the wall.
Or the wire thing you hang on
the shower caddy.
Yeah, sure. But just so it's not a good sign when you spend literally the first 12 hours of your vacation just doing home inspections, trying to figure out what. And then the next day, it threw us off a bit because I think most of us thought that we were going to spend just 4 or 5 days hanging out, just hanging at the house. Because look at the pictures, man. You got this big pool. Well, didn't realize it's across the street and it's a community. It used to be a community pool, and you don't want to sit on anything there, and it hasn't been pressure washed in 10 years. And in the picture online, they got these 5 majestic palm trees around there. Well, those things are cut to the ground now. I mean, just right. Basketball court, right? It's a basketball court. And at one time it did. Now it's a big slab. One goal is gone, just a rusty pole. And the other goal is, it's still there, but kind of, all bent up, and no basketball. Right. So you advertise a pool, again, it grows, a basketball court, whatever, pool table that's got one cue that's got, that still has a tip on it. So all of a sudden you realize you got a dock that you're afraid to walk on, just because stuff's coming up, and so you're not doing the water, you're not doing the pool, you're not playing pool, you're not swimming in the pool or playing pool, you're not, right?
Yeah, all of the amenities are unavailable.
So then you think, well, okay, I guess we got to go do what we're going to do, and we did want to, there's things called the painted churches. In parts of Texas, where it's these old, and it's mostly Polish, and I forget if there are any other nationalities but these old Catholic churches that were just really ornate. They really just were very, very beautifully done, and some very old cemeteries and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. I thought, yeah, okay, that's something. That's some sightseeing that I wouldn't mind. But again, I don't pay attention. We're like, yeah, we're gonna go see the painted churches, and it was just over 1 hour drive to the first one.
Lord.
To the first one. And it was a 1 hour drive closer to our house. So, man, listen, had we packed, but we get out there to the first one, and it was that part was nice. We just, and I mean, again, the kids, even though they're young men and women now, very well, good natured, and it's good, cool. But like, so by the time we got to the first one, man, I kind of had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, and I mean, this is old. This is old church.
Yeah,
There.
there ain't no bathroom in there unless it's been added.
No. And you know what the bathroom was? And I'm not making now. I think there may have been some other buildings somewhere else, but the bathroom that was closest to this church was an outhouse.
Oh wow,
Legit,
nice.
legit outhouse. There was one for female to this side and male, and it's an outhouse and it's wrapped in tin. So they built a tin wall around it. So I guess so it had just rained and grass is kind of wet, but I gotta go, and it's not a pleasant. It's probably not good manners to do that on the
Right.
side of a
Yeah,
church.
you're right.
So I didn't quite have the nerve one to open the outhouse door. I'll be honest. I walked around the side of the outhouse, shielded by tin,
Yeah.
trying to miss all the spiders and spider webs and stuff there. But because my wife was bitten by a spider a week ago, so that was still
Yeah.
fresh on my mind. But again, you're kind of standing there going, interesting vacation. I've been on a lot of vacations in my day. I've been outside on a 90
Hey,
something
you'll remember this one.
90 something degree day using an outhouse. But you know, should have just called back on Cajun. You know, our forefathers, man, they put up with that
Right,
kind of stuff.
Yeah, just went for it, man.
But yeah, so we ended up calling it. Dude offered free rentals, and after we left, he emailed or called my mother-in-law. They sent in a team to do a deep cleaning, scrub the pool, do whatever. And I said, hey, yeah, tell them, hey, we appreciate the fact that we made it better for whoever rents it next.
Yeah.
And offering, free stays. No.
No, I'm not. I just can't deal with that. So, you're talking about bad bathroom situation. We went to dinner last night, just at roadhouse type steak place. And right when I got there, I had to go to the restroom. So I went, and dude, when you got to the you got to the little, whatever you call the little space, vestibule, I guess, where the restrooms are, it smelled there. And when I walked in the men's room, they had the little, caution wet floor thing on it. Well, it looked like one of the toilets had overflowed. And to get to the urinal, you had to pass by the floor drain, which was also backing up.
Ooh.
So the bathroom was basically flooded with pee. And you could even see like wet footprints where people had walked out of it.
Man, you're giving me.
Yeah. So I told the waitress, I said, yeah, just telling you, y'all probably need to lock that bathroom. It doesn't seem very sanitary for a restaurant.
And she's like, that's not in my pay grade, bro. That's
No,
not
so
what I
she went
do.
to tell the manager, and 5 minutes later, she came back and said, okay, well, y'all are going to be my only table tonight. They basically closed the restaurant, except for the people who were, in there already.
Those of you that already been contaminated,
Yeah.
we figure, hey, you guys already walked through all the pee.
So,
Man.
yeah, it was just gross.
Yeah, it's part of being in business. Part of
Yeah. Oh yeah, I felt bad for him. No, because she said, "Oh man, we're gonna get one of the young guys to go in there and clean it." and luckily, the manager went look and decided they needed a plumber.
He wanted the night off. He's like, you know what? Enough with this. Yeah,
Well, so what did y'all do when you left? You just came home?
Yeah, then we had a sort of an agreement that became our kind of running joke because we did feel bad. You're supposed to be blocked off all these days, and it's family's supposed to be spending time together. So we're just like, well, so we got back on the so we said, let's just go do some let's vacation in Houston. Let's go home and but and this doesn't sound like a vacation, but it's something we ended up doing that I actually recommend to people. You're going to be in Houston starting next year. I'm sure you're going to be making more trips to Houston than you have before. There's a Holocaust museum here in Houston that is first rate. I've never been to the one in DC. I understand that one's.
Yeah, I've not. I think I may have when they first opened it.
But I have to say that, and I'm sure this one likely either I'd say borrowed, but but it's top notch. It's very well done. It's a history lesson that they don't want you to
Yeah.
have. But it's well done because they keep a lot of the things away from kids' eyes. They have young kids with you, so literally what they call the evidence of, oh geez, I forget the words now, but it's sort of a box that kind of comes up kind of high, so kids, you have to like walk over to it and look down into it
All right.
to
So it's
be
out
able
of
to
the eye
see
range or the
to be able to
sight
see
line.
some of the proof pictures of just things images that you just right. Um, but I tell you, and it's sort of one of these the more you know episode here with Dave and Juan. I there are things that I don't think I knew about.
Yeah, I don't know that I know a lot about it.
You will, but I'll tell you what, man. You go through the Houston, it's the Holocaust Museum, and there are some eerily familiar techniques and tactics and how things start. And I mean, you just can't, unless you're just clueless.
Mhm.
If you go through there and it's another thing, and it's also a reminder. We act like this happened in like this was the Vikings, or this
Yeah.
happened in a time before electricity, and this was just tribal warfare. No,
Before
man,
anybody knew better.
this was a very advanced societies. This was just, I mean, people alive today that
Yeah.
were there. And it just reminds you that, look, y'all, people, hmm, people can do some bad things and convince themselves that, or they'll
Yeah,
team
it's
up
for
on
good.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So no, I do, like I said, it's highly recommended.
Yeah, Joey was out of town last week with her daughter, and they watched something on, I don't know if it was on Hitler or on World War II, but now there's a new doc on Netflix about Hitler, and she wants to
Right.
watch that.
It's appropriate. I mean, it's appropriate. It's you look at and like I said, not getting too much into that, but all this
Mhm.
other stuff, I couldn't help. I'm watching because one of the last things they show, and again, it's so well done, and there's a you can take a tour. The tour's like 90 minutes, man, 90 minutes, 2 hours, and this person live, and she was fantastic. But there are other things you can just listen to and read. You can
Mhm.
take it at your own pace, but I mean, it's just, again, and a lot of testimony, a lot of the survivors, from a few years ago, talking and telling the stories. And again, just things I that's a class trip. I would almost like, if I was a superintendent of a school system, I'd be running, shorten it maybe 30 minutes, but I'd be running
Mhm.
I would have field trips
Yeah.
there just to show young people, hey, don't think that
That it can't happen.
that and don't think that just because somebody's in authority means they either know what they're doing or got your best interest at heart.
Mhm.
And or that when you see something happening that you know is not right to somebody else, don't just think, well, at least it ain't me. Because guess what? It is going to be. Well, what, and
Well, if you
again,
think about it, there was a lot of people fighting for it in World War II on that side, on the German side. So,
man, like I said, you got it's really, and I think we had this, I mean, we're familiar enough with it. Wasn't There's so much history that they don't teach us anymore, or you just sort of
mhm.
forget about. But like, so there were some major things that I remembered, but so much that I just either never knew, didn't remember, or never thought of in a certain way. Right. Just, but yeah. So again, I don't want to just, if you're in Houston, you got time in
Mhm.
Houston. Houston's got a wonderful museum, all kinds of museums. That's a, particularly interesting one. Um, but no, one of the very last things on the tour is like the Nuremberg trials, and they're talking about what happened and blah 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 blah, and just so happened to be we were there on the day or right before or after that Fauci was on the he was in front of a House committee, and I'm sorry. I know it's not quite the same, but boy, it just
No,
rang.
well, it's
Just
basically I think a lot of the manipulation methods with that were
well, listen,
similar.
look, you get to this part where they start showing, and they've got actual some of the badges and some of the stuff when they started deciding that if you were Jewish, you had to wear the star, you had to do the various whatever, and that meant you couldn't do this and that, and it was the othering and all these things that were going on. I'm like, oh, you mean like you can't keep your job, or you can't go into a restaurant, or you can't get medical treatment, or you can't. It's like, this sounds a little familiar. But I think it was just awesome, flat out awesome of Fauci to basically admit, not that it hasn't
No, I
been
didn't like
admitted before. I mean, it's been obvious before, but they somehow had to make them that, yeah, that whole 6 foot rule thing.
no, yeah,
Hey,
that was. They thought 3 feet wouldn't be,
well,
wouldn't come across as effective. 10 feet, they said, was too much. So let's split it.
Zero science. Repeat, whatever side
Mhm.
of whatever spectrum you're on, zero science, research, anything went into that. It just was like, well, what did that magically do? When you magically decided that you had to have 6 feet separation, you took the capacity of all these businesses,
Mhm.
especially
Yeah.
restaurants, out the window. Even the poor restaurant owners that could jump through every other hoop and try to figure out a way to try to keep their family businesses open
Yeah,
couldn't,
restaurants run on a slim profit margin.
because you just took out
Mm.
half my capacity. So like, even
Right.
if this place is packed, which I can't get it packed now because you're making it impossible. Yeah. Anyway, so you just don't forget, y'all. Well, my wife ran into that today. She's in Phoenix right now. She flew with some coworkers to a conference in Phoenix, and it's a Southwest. I mean, it's I'm an issue with Southwest, and they were delayed. I forget how long, waiting on flight attendant. And I can promise you, what's going on in the airline industries now is because they are so understaffed,
Right.
because so many flight attendants and
Well, during all that stuff, people talk about how much money all these big companies make. They lost a ton of money, because you couldn't travel, and you lose money. It's the
now
same
most
thing
of
with
them got
personal
bailed out. The airlines
finances.
we bailed out.
Yeah,
We bailed out the big guys. The smaller operators got,
yeah,
they got screwed. But
yeah. I mean, so they just, people haven't come back, or you go get another job doing something else. Like, yeah, well, all right, here I am now.
yep. But so yeah, so that's what we did. Also, I did see this, and this is one reason why Elon Musk. Again, I hope he's got the best security. Between Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson, and Joe Rogan, I'd like to know who has the best security. I'm gonna guess it has to be Trump.
It's got to be
Elon,
Trump because he's got Secret Service, although they're trying to take that away from him. But
of course. Why? Well, yeah. I mean, 30. I mean, come on, 32 felonies, right? That's the
mm,
please. But so Musk came this week, said so his AI. So there's Chat GPT. There's Google has what is it, Bard. I forget what
uh,
Microsoft's is. And they're all kind of clunky. The Google one, I mean, they're gonna do whatever. It's been a
mhm.
joke so far, but Chat GPT has been the one that's the most advanced,
Right, it's the most advanced. It was the first one, I think.
right? But so Musk and X or whatever, theirs is called Grok, Grok. I'm not sure where that came from. I'm sure it's must be some kind of, knowing him, it's a
Acronym
character
or
from a
something.
movie or something.
Yeah.
But but he said that they're not before long. It's about to happen. They'll be able to take these Congress, these omnibus bills, these thousands of freaking pages that they dump on you with like a day or two to right. So
Yeah.
basically, a Congress that's famous for now, but they've been playing this game for years. They dump these massive,
Right. All these pork projects and that have
legally
nothing to
written
do
that
with.
nobody. Grok's going to be able to read it, analyze it, and summarize it for you pretty much instantly, pretty damn close to
Nice.
instantly. So the American people are going to be able to start seeing what's inside these bills, or probably just be able to even ask questions like,
Yeah.
how much money goes to border
Yeah.
security?
Whatever the name is, whatever the border security bill, the least funded thing in there was
How
border
much
security.
money is going to gender studies in Ivy League
Yeah.
schools? How much is going to, and man, that's the last thing the people in power want, is if you'd actually know.
To know.
So go get him, Elon.
Yeah. Knowledge is power. So the less we know, the more power they have.
But yeah, I mean, I'll buy the subscription. I'll pay. I pay the monthly on Chat GPT, but I'll pay for that one just for that, just to support that. I mean, very few things I read make me say out loud, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, go get him, Elon. Show us what's in there." But
It's I don't know. It's crazy stuff. Talking about crazy stuff. We had another great weekend event in Baton Rouge this weekend. It was actually Friday because the people who went or anything, so it didn't really matter.
Summer of Hope, right?
No, we're on the Summer of Hope. Well, I think
correct.
we've got like a bike ride thing coming up, like to raise money. That's the well, we got the Summer of Hope, but they've got like the bike ride for peace or something. But we had an expungement event on Friday.
Expunge.
So
I think I mispronounced that word one time. We were
yeah, I do
talking
too.
about.
I'm looking at it. I have it called up on the screen, so I can say it rightly. But
Thankfully, I've only had one thing in my life that was supposed to be expunged. I don't know if it ever was or not, but
well, but this event, went from on Friday from 8 to 3. Um, and it gives people a chance to get their criminal records reviewed and expunged, which means wiped out. That way they can go get a job and take care of their family. So good on you, Baton Rouge.
that's okay. If that's truly the, I didn't even
Yeah.
know that was still a thing. Like what,
They did it last year. I do
can't get a job if you've got a criminal record. I mean,
I guess it depends on the job.
you can go to Congress. Well, apparently you can become the next president because that's
yeah,
that's
the
happening, baby. That's happening, baby.
um I, I think you can get votes by offering it, but there's a Instagram page that I follow. I'm not on Instagram a lot. But I'm not the target audience for this page because it's called Ghetto Ways,
There you go.
WAZE.
Well, you apparently are the target audience. You.
No, I'll follow it, but they were,
Yeah, you.
they put stuff about the event, and people were commenting that well, if they'd stop arresting us, we wouldn't need this event.
Chicken or egg, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
stop.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, stop arresting. I just not quite the same story, but it's the another a state really that has gone bad, and a city that I used to love that's just becoming a cesspool is Colorado. Their weed market, their marijuana industry is starting to falter.
Going up in
Right?
smoke.
Yeah, they're not, and they're not. So, total sales are down a lot and competition's getting to them. And it's just so interesting to watch, now and all the revenue that Colorado's counting on from marijuana sales. And y'all, so who'd have thought, right? Who'd have thought that you can take a great American city known for like outdoors, healthy outdoors, activities, and just one of the coolest, hippest cities in America. Who would have thought that when you basically turn it into one big pot dispensary, that things
Some
might
people shy
start?
away.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. I'm glad. I hope it totally craters. I hope it totally. That's the only choice because I mean Denver, and again it's Colorado in general that's having this
Yeah,
issue.
it's Denver where it's mainly going on.
Well, Denver is where it was the beginning of the end. I still remember years ago after they first passed, where you could legally smoke marijuana, I guess,
Yeah,
around, and you could just see it. You could walk down the streets. You could
probably
start,
can't smoke a cigarette on the street, but they'll let you light up a joint.
probably not, probably not. But you could just start seeing it. You could just start, you could just start watching. Like, oh, okay. Because what happens? People start saying like the people that would come in, with their families or something would come into town to shop or do whatever. You just think I want to be in that area anymore. It's just a bunch of, everybody's hanging around smoking pot and,
Yeah.
you know, and the pot's probably the least of the bad smells you're going to get in some of these areas.
It's covering some of the stuff.
The pot smells better than the person that's smoking it. But there you go. That in California apparently has lost over 10,000 fast food jobs since they upped the.
Yeah.
So man, let me tell you something. Politicians are just fantastic at
Well, because guess
economics.
what? All the people who do push for that are the people who will slam the big companies and say that they're too greedy and making too much money. Well, guess what? The big companies invested in technology that made more people rich
Listen,
to
how
save
did
themselves money.
I mean, you got McDonald's is sort of usually they've been at the forefront of the automation, and
Hmm.
others are doing it too. But exactly, hey, if I got to pay somebody who got to hire off the street that really doesn't know anything, train them up or try to train them up, I got to pay somebody $20 an hour
Right.
to do. No, it's not going to happen.
And this is what I always say about that. It's a trickle up effect. So if you got somebody in your business who was, mid-level making $20 an hour, $25 an hour, and suddenly this guy with no experience is making the same money, well, I want more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was making $8 more than minimum wage before. So okay, now I want $28 an hour.
And then get mad when they got to start charging you $6.25 for
Hmm.
a Wendy's single at that place wherever we were the other day. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, and I wish nothing but bad things on these people, saw this picture. So, University of Texas, and I got nothing against UT out here in Texas, and it's it is what it is. It's UT is every bit as crazy as LSU, every bit as crazy as all these big schools, right? So they had the recruits, I guess the football recruits on their first official visits, and right outside the building or walking into the building where the recruits visit, got it lined with Lamborghinis. Basically, basically showing the top recruits, hey, come to Texas.
Yeah,
Choose,
yeah.
choose
You
a
number
color.
one guy, you get the first pick.
Choose a color. Choose a color. I wish nothing but bad things on college athletics right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just you got these young men, and it's mostly all young men. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sure who the
No, well,
next
that's where the
Caitlin.
money is. It's mostly in football as well. Like baseball, like LSU baseball, uh, there's only there's not 20, I think it's 15 and a half scholarships on the team that
Okay.
they have to divide up. Some guys will get a full scholarship, some guys pay, then they
Yeah.
divvy up the rest of them. So, but
They
when
want
you
to be on
get
the
in these
team. Yeah.
right, right.
But
So the
LSU
guys who
baseball
really want
doesn't
to
make
play.
money.
No, no, football is the only thing that makes money.
But I want
Football
you to stop and
basically
think about that.
supports
LSU
every other
basketball doesn't
sport.
make money. That's the thing. Like LSU baseball, which some would argue is the, historically, maybe the past 10, 20 years, the top baseball program in the United States.
For attendance, it has record attendance every year. So from where they make money, you would think that's they probably are the top funded team.
But it's still not.
But no, right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
football's king.
and I guess basketball to some, I'm not sure how,
It probably
because
depends on the
those guys are
school.
getting paid. So, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, there's fewer of them,
but yeah, it's just, yeah, what could go wrong? What could go wrong with giving 17-year-olds? Well, that
yeah.
happened the other day. I don't know if we talked about it. I saw the guy who's going to be the quarterback at University of Georgia. There was a picture of him shaking hands. Dude buying or getting $100-something thousand. I don't know if it was a Rolls or what. Dude, they they were throwing people like SMU had their entire football program killed. SMU got the death penalty for
Because your boy got a Trans Am.
for something back in the day. Now they were repeat offenders, but to me right now, SMU just got to be smiling because when it comes to like paying off and it's not even cheating anymore because SMU is a rich school.
Yeah.
But well, I guess so is UT
Well,
and all of them.
UT's probably not poor either.
No, nor is A&M, and
Yeah, I
that's
was
the
gonna say
race.
A&M's got some. You go look at the whatever they call the fund, I don't know, their endowment fund. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
some of
yeah,
them are like over $1 billion.
yeah. I want to say I don't know if it still is in the recent past that A&M had the largest.
I think
Uh,
they did, yeah, because we
because they're
went to
massive.
swim
Yeah,
meet there last year, and I looked
A&M's
at it.
been pumping out tens of thousands of engineers forever, making lots of money and donating lots of money back, and that's what they do. And then but anyway, and they still got Jimbo Fisher. So what does that mean? But they got rid of him, I guess.
Oh, they did fire. That's right. I forgot who they. I don't know who they hired.
I don't know. I don't know. It's
But
all
they can afford to get rid of somebody.
they're all delusional. But what bad could happen? Handing a 17 or 18-year-old the keys to a
Yeah,
Lamborghini.
yeah, I know how to handle it well.
How you going to cut that guy? You know, what you gonna, not gonna play that. Yeah, you gonna getting benched. I got an orange Lamborghini parked outside. I'm not. Oh well. And we talked too much about it last week, and it's time to get on out of here anyway. But glad that our gal Caitlin Clark is back in the news for not being left off the U.S. Olympic
Out
team.
there. Yep.
Juan, between me and you, if I woke you up in the middle of the night and say, "Hey, pop quiz, did you know there was a women's Olympic basketball team?"
I don't think I did.
I don't think I did either. Apparently, they've hardly, I don't know if they've ever lost or they haven't lost, whatever. Don't know. Don't care. They play, right? So nobody cares. You put this young lady on the Olympic team.
People care.
People care. It's going to be it's going to be one of, if not the most watched Olympic event. It's going to rival gymnastics. It's going to put a spotlight on all women's basketball. It's going to continue to raise. So what
Raise the bar, raise the money.
Absolute morons do? They leave her off the team.
So I saw a commercial. I have YouTube TV. I think you have it as well.
I used to. I'm back to Hulu.
Okay. I saw a commercial yesterday that YouTube TV is offering, like, I don't know if they call it the season pass, but it's basically like the season pass for WNBA for free right now.
Oh yeah.
So basically you could sign up for it and get all the WNBA games. I'm sure it's going to be off the chart unsuccessful.
Oh, because there's only one game anybody wants to see, flat out.
Right.
Flat out. I mean, the young ladies, they played a game in Washington, D.C. against the Washington franchise, who had not won a game yet this year, who they moved the game from their normal 4,000-seat arena that they probably never put more than 1,000, 2,000 people in. They moved it to a 20-something thousand seat arena, sold it out.
Because Caitlin Clark was coming.
Caitlin Clark. That more people live in Washington, D.C. watched, like there were more people in attendance at the Caitlin Clark game, and her team had only won 2 games, I think, or 3 games all year. The other team I don't think they had won a game. More people live than watched live the Boston Celtics take on the Dallas Mavericks, because the Boston arena, what is it? Gosh darn it.
Not a basketball guy.
Boston Garden. Boston Garden now, I think, seats like 19,000 or just give or take. So anyway.
Yeah, I saw something this week where and it was on social media, so who knows how accurate it is, but it showed the attendance at games, non-Caitlin Clark basketball games last week. Probably averaged, somewhere between 4 and 7.
Maybe.
Caitlin Clark's were over 17,000.
100%. I think she's played one game this year that wasn't sold out. And I don't know what the story was on that. It might have been a monsoon or who knows. But yeah. But there you go. Nice move, U.S. So it just gives me another team to root against, right? It just I'm American. I cheer for American teams, but I haven't cheered for the U.S. Women's soccer team in forever when they started pulling all their nonsense. And what is it? It's like, come on, y'all. You can't complain about nobody watching your sport and not getting any money. And then when you're handed the golden goose, you're handed.
Right. You crap on it.
You said, 100%. 100%. So borrow from, our motto to the people of South Louisiana when it comes to drugs and WNBA.
Yeah,
don't do that. You got somebody that everybody wants to see, right? You don't let her play on the Olympic. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right.
There were some kids real quick last week at Riley's had a big swim meet, but it was at LSU. And in some of the year-round leagues, they've got college swimmers in it. If they're part of like Tiger Aquatics Club or whatever, I don't know.
Okay.
It's a lot of LSU swimmers swimming that. There were some but a couple of high schoolers as well. Just out there trying to hit times for the Olympic trials. So it's pretty cool to watch people just cheer them on and go for it. So
not
right a couple seconds off. So by time she's a junior in college, she's whatever the next Olympics. She said, but like I joke, she's got a friend that's going, and I said, I'm not trying to be dismissive, but he tried 10 times to make it, I think, and finally made it this week. And I said, so if you're at the bottom, if you just get in the trials, and let's be honest, probably not gonna make it.
Hey,
But she said, it's just a big honor to make it, I guess. So
I have a good friend that I used to work for. A good guy. Good guy. He had a daughter. Was both were swimmers. Both were scholarship swimmers. And one went to UGA in Georgia, and one went to where is it? It's a private school in Atlanta area. I can't remember. And one was on the whatever team that she didn't swim, but she rode buses with Michael Phelps. So I mean, she
yeah,
was they could swim.
yeah. The guy who runs the swim club here, he won a gold medal. He was on the relay team with Phelps.
You know what's what it is about how much stuff gets covered? I could pretty much claim that I once swam in the Olympics. And you know what? I'm convinced, right?
Yeah, maybe this year you could make it to the women's basketball team.
Yeah. It's all how you identify, Juan. It's all how you identify. I'm going to identify as somebody who says, you know what? The buffet is in front of us. Time to push the button. Get on out here. See if it's stuck to tape, y'all. If you want to hit us, it's easy. Dave and Juan at protonmail.com. And you found us where you found us.
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are. Where are you at right now? We'll be doing it again next week. Every week, y'all. It's not a hint, suggestion, subtle implication. Nah. Freaking.
It's a freaking mandate, dude.
Freaking mandate.
What else are you going to do?
Go live your best life. 100%. Hey, 100%. We were in a interesting location. We had a
substandard.
We were on a no towel, no light bulb,
dark towelless vacation.
Moldy first floor vacation home this way. Made the best out of it, man. I used an outhouse this week. Actually, I went on the outside of an outhouse, but it was
the same. It probably at one time that outhouse was probably over the spot that you went.
I was outhouse adjacent, but still fantastic week. So try to get out there and have one yourself. And yeah, we'll gather around, take some notes, check in with you next week. Until then, have a fantastic one. Love you, bro.
Back at you, man. We went to the local Dairy Queen the other night to get some ice cream. And they had a flyer that was photocopied all crooked but taped to the drive-through window. It said, "In loving memory of our beloved coworker Joseph." And they were asking you to give money to Joseph because I guess he was a victim of Baton Rouge crime and funeral expenses.
Joseph was not his summer of hope came to a quick end.
Yeah. But it goes back to everybody's asking for money somewhere.
Jeez. Did you pour one out for Joseph one?
No, it didn't tell me how to do it.
Just donate to.
Yeah. Like, what am I gonna give it to? The person making my dip cone? I don't think so.
It's over. Go home.